Woo! Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saturday's show, the version of Car Stereo Talk with Dean and Fernando, where, I don't know, it's Saturday. I guess that's the main difference.
It is Saturday.
I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit. I feel like we're really far back. Hold on. And there we go.
What's up, guys?
Just a hair. Oh, too far. Too far. All right, let's get this going here. We should have done this before, but we didn't. We suck. Okay.
Oh wow.
Anyways, today's a heck of a day, guys. Let's start out with a couple things, and then we'll get to the Q&A portion of this. I didn't know Dual Electronics was started in Germany in 1907 making turntables. I would not be surprised. That would not surprise me at all. I did not know that either. What's up, Hi-Fi? All right, so a couple things that have changed in the last couple days is this right here. Hold on. We were supposed to have 2 people appearing next week. We're only going to have 1. So next Saturday, the 21st at 6 p.m., this show right here, but next Saturday, we are going to have... cherry. We are going to have Seth Hostetter from JVC Kenwood on answering your questions. So that'll be tomorrow. That'll be next Saturday. We're pretty excited about that. Definitely we're excited about that. Also, new things have been announced, which we'll have slides for come Monday. The 27th of this month will be Friday. We're going to be doing a special live at Knowledge Fest from the Audison Hertz or Electromedia booth. We'll have Mr. McNulty, Mr. Christopher McNulty, National Sales Trainer, USA Trainer. I don't know, it's hard to get the title straight. Anyways, we'll have somebody on from Electromedia, and we'll be talking to them about their products. I told them, hey, we'd really like to focus on possibly the difference between Hertz Milli Legends and Hertz Milli Pro, because that seems to be a question we get asked quite a bit, as well as talk about their subwoofers and that type of thing. So we're really excited to have them on. So that'll be the 27th of this month. And then the week after that, I can't go talk to him.
I know.
The week after that, we will be... That is going to be the week... Let me just bring the calendar over. Which will be the 5th, 6th, and 7th. We will be doing a road trip. That is Memorial or Labor Day weekend. We'll be doing a road trip to Kicker. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. It's one of those, live stream fun. Live stream from K-Fest on the subject of talking nonsense on YouTube as well, but it'll be hosted in the parking lot. Probably. All right, so back to this. So Saturday, the 4th, 5th, and 6th, we're going to do the live show here on the 4th. We'll have the Kicker truck in the bay so we can take the live cam and go over it and see all the cool stuff that's inside of it. And then we'll be doing a road trip. So starting that night, we'll come back on. We're going to go on YouTube, we're going to go on Instagram, and we're going to be doing all kinds of fun and excitement on the road. We're going to put our route up for you guys to see in case you're anywhere in the area and you want to stop by the random gas stations. Buc-ee's. We'll be stopping at Buc-ee's. And of course, we're going to try to get them to give us some stuff to give away, because why not? I mean, that only makes fun. And then that Tuesday, the 7th, I will be on, which you guys are the only ones that know this, so don't tell them that we told you. I'll be on Unmasked. So, live in the bay. So, Hi-Fi won't be the only one that got to be live there. So, that'll be fun. Johnny Brolin, what's going on? So that is what's coming up, amongst other things. And of course, Knowledge Fest, we have a bunch of stuff lined up for that. A lot of it is going to be like recording, like we're gonna, because there's a bunch of cars that are gonna be there, so we're gonna do a bunch of the cool cars. We'll do some interview stuff that you guys really like. Nano needs to back up the... Of course he does. That's his job. Did we get it? Yeah, I know. Just, people are kind of...
Fernando.
I know. That's why I sent you out there.
Okay.
All right, you got him? Okay. Grab your drink.
I'm going to.
All right, so that's what we
water?
got coming up. Yeah, you might as well. I know. Yeah, the joys of doing live, guys, and doing live for many, many years. The fun never stops. It just never does.
What would they?
Yep, finally. I mean,
Hi,
I've been
Jennifer.
on there.
I forgot Jennifer was watching.
Oh, is Jennifer watching?
Yeah, Bobby's
Nice.
wife.
Bobby's wife.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. We still have a couple announcements that we can't... Well, actually, we have one big announcement that we're going to talk about next week. Yeah, we'll talk about that one next week.
Yeah, because we have the confirmation, right? That
Yeah.
we're
We're on for that. We have that. That's that. Yeah. And of course, we'll be at SEMA. Anyone going to SEMA, we'll be at SEMA. We'll be hanging out with audio control, so it'll be us and Steve Mead, which that's your boy. So that's your homie.
We're gonna...
So anyways, that's what we got planned. And since we mentioned plans, what are your thoughts on the Installer Institute?
It's funny that you asked.
Funny you should ask.
Yeah.
That was actually a topic we brought up with Metro this week. Sometime next year, we want to try to work it out with them when we go over there and I don't know, talk to the recruits, get a tour. So basically, what we want to do is we pitch the idea of doing a documentary at Metro, so we can show you guys that whole thing. So it's in the very infant stage. Like it's me telling you is like me. Me telling you this is like Chris telling us that they're coming out with a 5-channel amplifier before they even have a blueprint for the 5-channel amplifier. So if any of you remember that nightmare of 2 years of, man, when's this 5-channel amp coming out? That's kind of where we're at with the whole Metro thing. But no, the Installer Institute, actually, years ago, I hired an employee from the Installer Institute that had attended there, and he worked with me for, I want to say, like 8 years. Yeah. So and yeah, he was good with alarms. So he had a job because I didn't want to do them.
Did you guys come into the expo?
Which expo?
Brian's.
Oh yes, yes.
Well,
no, we are. I talked to him last night.
Okay. So here you go. We are.
Yes, we will be there. Don't know in what we'll be doing or how we'll be doing it or in what regards, but according to him last night when I talked to him, yes, we will be there. So
like
he is rolling out the information on the expo very slowly. I know that we just found out that the guest keynote speaker is going to be Mark Fukuda, which I'm really excited about because I've never had the opportunity to cross paths with him, and I would love to, for one, just be like, thanks, man. Thanks for bringing me into this. Meaning Car Audio, because he did some really exceptional stuff that we all stared at as young people in magazines. So really excited about that. And there's also like he's really releasing these things slow, but I think there's a huge announcement, which he wouldn't tell me anything about it because he knows me. But there is going to be another huge, like, holy crap, drop the mic announcement coming either next week or the week after. And he's like,
the mic and walk away?
Yeah, he's like, you're not even going to believe this one. And I was like, okay. So, and I didn't even...
J-Lo's coming!
Yeah, exactly.
No?
I didn't even hammer him for information. I wasn't like, can you tell me more? I didn't even ask. Because I didn't want to know, because that way I could just plausible deniability.
Okay.
I know. Well, we have the big ones, but that's a whole nother thing.
That's another
yeah,
thing,
that's a giveaway for another day. So, side note right here, guys. And this is going to be difficult for me, okay? I know I seem very jovial and very happy right now, and I'm putting on a really good facade.
Yeah.
So, news came to us yesterday that a very close friend of the show and a very personal friend of mine passed away. And I'm not taking it very well. I'm not taking it very well at all. And you guys know him. He's actually, he's been on the show. He's been in the show. His voice has been on the show. He's the only guest we've ever had where just his voice appeared in one of the videos. Fernando's wearing his shirt that he had made for us. We sent him a 5-star shirt, and he sent us, had custom made that only like 12 people on the planet got. We just call him Mark on the show, but he passed away, and it really sucks.
It really sucks because he did a lot for this industry, and you know, I never had the opportunity to talk to him a lot like you or other people, but the time that he talked here,
well, you were a Spanish translator.
Yeah, right, right, yeah.
You know, anything in Spanish that iData has, if for RR or AR, you translated for them.
And that was just like, it's just such a, you know, lost.
Yeah. But that's kind of all I want to say about that right now. They'll be writing it up in the news, and we'll talk about it more then. But it's just really, it's been a really tough couple days for me.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna put back on my happy face, and I'm just gonna get through this hour with you guys, and we'll just continue to have fun, and that's what we got. So, anyways, back to the silly questions. And I will tell you this: the funny part is he loved watching the show.
Yeah.
And it was the reason why Fundamentals exists is because of him. Because he called me up one day and he says, you know, I love the show, I'm bored. And he goes, you need to do something on that show. And I go, what? And he goes, I don't know, you need to do something or I'm not going to watch anymore. I said, okay. And so we within 10 minutes we came out with the Fundamentals and also the new product introduction that didn't catch on. We didn't keep that one because we really didn't, you know, we figured that wasn't the right thing. But it was his idea to, he really drove us to make that and make it better. And enough of that. Okay, so what's up, Johnny? Seeing you soon, bro. On the 7706, and just bought a Kenwood 1814 digital amp and hooked it up all. Got an error. There's an error in speaker wiring. Please check connection. Any ideas? All right, anytime Kenwood puts out an error in speaker connection wiring, that means there's a short somewhere on the factory amplifier. A lot of the times what happens when people add amplifiers, if you've ever seen me wire up a wiring harness, I always put those butt connectors over the wires. And that is because a lot of people like to take those wires and tape them all up together and then there. Well, all it takes is one little hair of copper to touch any one of those ends and you will get that warning. This warning bit me in the ass probably 20 years ago. A Lamborghini Gallardo comes factory with a Kenwood radio. And that's what I used to do at the time. And I got a phone call and they're like, hey, my Gallardo says this. And I was like, huh. So I had to drive out to the paint and body shop that was working on the car and figure out that, oh, I had one little microscopic thing that was touching, and that was enough to give me that warning. But that's the problem. So what happens is Kenwood will give you that warning, and then if you hit reset, it will go away, and if it comes back, I think they give you twice, and then they lock the radio up. So the best bet is to make sure that there's nothing touching those before you reset the radio. Or you'll lock up the radio, have to send it back and have it redone, and that's no fun. Okay, so that's what that is.
Hi guys.
Afternoon. Hold on, wait. Good afternoon. The Boring Life with Dean and Haley.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Fang of Truth. All right, go ahead.
All right, another. That's what he say. Another good one. Hello guys, I like watching you show. Question of the content. Why Dean or Fernando don't have your own shop? Just wondering.
You know, that's always a question we get, even in the industry. People they're like, why? And I don't necessarily want to own the shop and do what we do for this particular shop.
It's just gonna be hard because right now our focus is in this. We don't deal with sales. We don't deal with shipping and all that crazy stuff that you as owner you're dealing with everything, right? So I think that would change the whole structure of the.
Yeah, it might have been a Murcielago. Yeah, it was a Murcielago.
Okay.
Right, because I did both. Well, I did a Murcielago and a Gallardo like within that month.
What's up, car gift?
I had to build the custom dash kit for the Gallardo, but the Murcielago. Yes, thank you, Johnny. You would know, man. You're the man. What's up, Car Gift?
All right, I'm trying to find one.
The accounting wouldn't be fun. Oh, trust me, I have accounting now. Trying to run this show? Are you kidding me? It might as well be a shop. But anyways,
all right, hang on.
Yep.
If I use the kicker key.
Yes.
500.1 on the aftermarket radio, do I need to do the key algorithm?
Yes.
There you go.
Oh wait, aftermarket radio? No.
Aftermarket radio.
No, you don't have to. Sorry, work with me here. No, if you have an aftermarket radio, so the key is cool. That's the great thing about the key. So the idea behind the kicker key is if you have a factory radio in the car, you buy the kicker key 501, you put it in, and you're like, hey, I need to DEQ and do all this nonsense, and it does all that, and then you, like 6 months later, you buy a new radio, you go back in, you turn all that stuff off, because then it just becomes a normal amplifier at that point. I mean, you can if you want, because there again, the funny part is, even though you buy an aftermarket radio, let's say you don't get a great aftermarket radio, running that software again might help, because some of these preamp sections kind of suck. So it's going to run a logarithm, and you might get a little correction there just in the factory salt and pepper that those radio manufacturers put on their radio. So I'm not saying you don't need it. You don't, but you might want to run it again just to run it and see if it does anything. What's it going to hurt?
Right.
It's 5 minutes of your time.
Hey Héctor, ¿cómo estás? Para mí es muy importante. Definitivamente poner el sound treatment es muy importante en las
muy importante.
En las bocinas les da otro tipo de sonido, cambia completamente, eso yo te lo recomiendo.
The only reason why I didn't say bad speaker flow was because he said he had an amplifier powering the speakers, and that would be why you wouldn't get that warning if there was no speakers connected to the Kenwood radio. That's why I didn't mention that. But yes, you're correct. You'll also get that if you have a shorted speaker.
On the 2020 Silverado with two 12-inch down firing subs under the rear seat, right?
Yeah.
Using a 60A, how should I measure it for time delay, or should not delay my subs?
That's entirely up to you whether you want to delay them or not. We always delay subs. Where you're going to go to is when you're looking at the subwoofer, you want to go to where the cone and the voice coil meet. All right, so you know if you got a dust cap that's like so hold on.
That's out from Canada.
So this is a speaker here. You want to go to this point right here.
Well, bring the whole cone.
Well, we don't need
the top one. No, just to have a reference. Like, so you have this reference right here. So you add. I'm sorry, this way.
Yeah.
You
so
add like 3 or 4 inches
right
from the front. You know.
And now, if it's facing towards the back of the car, you do the same thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Wherever that position is, that's the sound.
And then you add, of course, like, you know, like, kind of see the box and all that stuff.
It's a subwoofer.
It's just closer. It doesn't have to be the exact.
Here's the thing when time delaying a subwoofer that you have to keep in mind. It only works at whatever frequency you're tuning the car for. I'm sorry, it only works at whatever volume you're tuning the car for. So if you're tuning it and the volume is set here on the subwoofer, okay, and everything is tuned with the volume set here. If you go less, the subwoofer is going to move back. If you go left, the sub is going to move back and forth once you go past that point. It's just the whole joy of upfront bass is going to disappear. So what you kind of have to do is find that sweet spot between volume and performance, and for that aha moment where you're like, oh man, I really want that really predominant front, sound when I'm showing off my car. Because once you start screwing with the volume, it disappears. So.
La otra, si tienes el carro, un par de componentes y coaxiales en la parte de atrás. Eso sería para mí. Si quieres poner dos pares de componentes en cada lado, también obviamente necesitas ecualizarlos con el DSP si vas a tener uno, y si no, pues.
Look at that, we're putting Johnny and Fro together. Isn't that sweet? Oh man, we just making connections.
Hey Fro.
Thank you for doing the braided loom thing. Yeah, you're welcome. That was a great. It's actually a wonderful video to do because it was nice and super simple, and it was just a really weird week. So, I don't know for sure, but I think me does it in his Tahoe. Okay, so he's answering something. He's talking to somebody else. Okay. Does a bass knot help deal with that subwoofer time alignment issue with how strong the bass is? Yes. Well, yeah, actually no. The bass knob is what causes the problem in the first place. If every subwoofer should have a subwoofer volume control, all right? Well, it should just have it. If you don't have a subwoofer volume control, then everything is going to be at a fixed level anyways, and getting that upfront bass is easily done in the DSP sorry. When I say easily, it's not easy, all right? But getting that upfront bass is going to be done through the processor, meaning everything is at a fixed finite level of this is all we have, and then we can adjust accordingly. So you can sit there with the DSP in the car, with your laptop, and you can play bop, 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 and you can listen to the bass move forward until it blends in with that mid-range. Not having a bass knob is going to make that work all the time. As soon as you add in the bass knob, that's when it changes. So, which is fine, because let's be honest, not every time you're going to be sitting there going, oh, this is nice. No, sometimes you want to get the back of your head knocked off. What I would suggest is finding because the knob moves. So I'd say put the knob at 12 o'clock, and that's the magical setting. And then everything else is either less, like when the wife is in the car or the girlfriend, and she's like, and you're like, and she doesn't want to hear. And then you have when everyone is out of the car and it's just you, and it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're feeling like crap, and you want to go! You break the knob off. So yeah, have some fun with it. That's what it's all about, remember?
All right. Does the 5.1300 have enough power for 2 Comp RT10s?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, plenty of power. Yeah.
Plenty power.
Plenty of power for 2 Comp RT10s. Yeah. Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. 2018 Honda Accord. I replaced the door speaker, but I really want bass. How can I connect a aftermarket subwoofer? I believe in the Honda Accord, the front and rear outputs are identical. The problem that you have in the Honda Accord is that it doesn't have bass roll off. It has a high pass filter built into it. You're going to tap off either the front doors or the rear deck. Pick a speaker. It doesn't really matter. They all basically sound the same. You're going to want something with some harmonic restoration. So you're either going to want an epicenter to go in there, or you're going to want something that has an aftershock capability that has some form of bass boost. Aftershock is brought to you by the fine folks of Kicker. All the KX series amplifiers have aftershock built into it. And then, of course, Audio Control makes the epicenter. Soon, in a couple months, they'll have the Epicenter Micro, which is made specifically to do what we're talking about. This is one of those times where it's we can't wait till the product ships because the problem exists right now. But it is a high-level to low-level adapter with an epicenter built into it to fix this specific problem. So it is coming.
All right.
Does splicing mids and splicing mids and highs a good thing?
Splicing.
I have no idea.
Splicing mids and highs?
I don't know.
Separate? Stinger.com, ahí los puedes encontrar. Se llama Speedwire.
You're having a fun time on this show, man. A lot of, Hey guys, I have a 2016 Honda Civic. Another Honda question. EX with stock radio. I have a JL 500, an LP7 LOC, a JL sub. Do you guys recommend tapping into the front or rear speakers? On the Civic, it really doesn't matter. Front or rear, it's the same signal. So I would just grab the rear and make it easy.
It's easy for you, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Need more gain. Always. Always break the knob off. Break the knob off and then throw it. Throw it in the trash. He can 1 amp per coil on a sub. Oh, yes. Was asking if he can 1 amp per coil on a subwoofer. The answer is yes. You can put 1 amp on a coil of a subwoofer. This is how okay, so yes, you can. That's where level matching comes in. Alright, so let's say you have a subwoofer that handles an obscene amount of power, and or you have an amplifier, a subwoofer that handles a normal amount of power, but let's say you have a 4-channel amplifier, and that's the only amplifier you have. So you buy a dual voice coil 4-ohm driver, and you take channel 1 and 2 and bridge it here, channel 3 and 4 bridge it here. What you have to do is have the gains set identical. So what I would do is I would not hook it up first. I would figure out which channel puts out the best usable signal or the lowest usable signal before clip, because you're going to have to set for the lowest common denominator. So let's say it put out 20 volts. All right. So 20 volts was your maximum output on this channel. Let's say this one put out 22. Doesn't matter. You have to turn this one down to 20 volts, and you have to make sure they both play 20 volts. Then you can take and bridge that to the dual voice coil driver, and it'll play fine. It'll do exactly what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Any thoughts on the 6x9 components for the Tundra? The Kenwood Excellence.
Oh yeah, we do those all the time. They're spectacular. I think also the new KS have started shipping too, with the little 2.5-inch driver. I think those are available as well. So
there you go.
Yeah, we haven't done much with those, but the ones we have are pretty awesome.
Aiden, the epicenter you recommend me to install in my 2021 Honda Accord with the DM608 ended up working really well. There you go, man.
Hey, epicenter for the win.
Apparently you know what
we want to thank Audio Control for sponsoring the show. They are definitely one of the longtime sponsors, and yes, they do sponsor the show. It is wonderful. We want to thank them, of course, for doing that, and we look forward to seeing them in a couple weeks at Knowledge Fest. I did talk to Chris last night. We're super excited. Oh, man.
So, don't forget, if you're looking for audio control gear, you can go to audiocontrol.com. Find out what you want.
And if you're unfamiliar with what the new Epicenter Micro is going to be about, do you still have the YouTube page loaded up?
The YouTube page?
Oh, no, you're already on it. Never mind. Head over to YouTube. The channel you're on right now, and make sure you go back, like, I don't know, last week when we have the whole unveiling of the show. This is what it's going to look like here. Sorry, wrong laptop. This is the guy right here. So, pretty cool stuff. Yeah, that's it. Epicenter Micro. It's about the size of my phone. So,
pretty nice. Low resistors?
Has load resistors built into it. It's super sexy. Oh, yeah.
I like it.
I like it, too.
I like it a lot.
Oh, easy, man, easy. I have the Kenwood 6x9s and 2.5 components, and they sound fantastic. Thank you, El Fuego, for your glowing review. Well, there you have it. Wow, Johnny is like full on tonight. Way to go, Johnny. Thank you for playing along, man. And for those of you who don't know, Johnny does work at a shop in Texas. So if you're in Texas, definitely go check it out. Drop your stuff in there, Johnny. Let us know where you're at. Let them know where you're at.
Let them know, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Can MECP graduates attend Knowledge Fest? No. Unfortunately, not the case. No. You got to be like hi-fi.
You got to work.
You got to be like hi-fi and like, you know, find somebody that works at a manufacturer that's willing to take you in and like that kind of thing. Which is what we're doing if we get into SEMA. So.
Exactly. I mean, everybody can get in SEMA.
Not with the passes we're getting.
Exactly.
We were for audio control that week. Can you use non-high-res amps on high-res speakers? Of course you can. Keep in mind, high-res is just a certification, and that certification says that your amplifier that you're using is capable of reproducing sounds at least up to 40,000 hertz.
Yeah.
That's not to say that your amplifier that you go buy isn't capable of doing that. Most amplifiers come with the frequency response mounted on the side of the box. Keep in mind that there is the reason why it is going to be like, let's say it's going to be well past 20. Some of them go up to like 35,000, or they'll say like 35K or something like that. It doesn't say 40K. That's just where it starts to roll down. Yep. Okay. You gotta understand the reason why these amplifiers are playing so far up. It has to do with what's called rollback. All right. How the amplifier works is it like we can hear from X to Y, and most people say it's 20 to 20. 20 to 20,000 is as far as we get to go. It isn't true because I can't hear some of the frequencies that Fernando can hear just because I've been on the planet a little bit longer than him, and I've subjected myself to torture. So naturally, that's going to be a factor in it. Plus, some people, just like eyesight, can hear better and whatnot. The other thing too is that when we say 20 to 20, we're trying to fit everyone into a box, and as we all know, we all don't fit into the normal box. There's a couple great YouTube videos I've watched on explaining high-res audio, and basically what it has to do with is where in your ear sound is perceived. The high frequencies are perceived at different locations than the low frequencies. But all of that really doesn't mean anything when you're building an amplifier. If we stopped an amplifier, let's say, oh, I need to cut it off at 20 hertz, 20,000 hertz. What would happen is the sound would come here, and then we'd get distortion back into the amplifier, because sound just doesn't stop. It's a wave. When a wave crashes into the beach, it crashes into the beach, and then it rolls back. We've all seen this. It's the tide, okay? The same thing happens with audio. If we put a dead stop here, we're going to get distortion. So what you'll see is some of these amplifier manufacturers will design their amplifiers to play up higher. That way, when it comes to the end, as far as it could possibly go, and it rolls back, it's in the inaudible range. Now, if we take an amplifier that can play all the way up to 40,000 hertz, we know it's going to play beyond 40,000 hertz. That's just, so by the time that audio rolls back, it is so far out of the audible range that your ear will never pick it up, thus making the higher frequencies sound better. So that's where a lot of the smoke and mirrors and voodoo side of this comes in. Yeah. It's just building a better product. Years ago, which out of frame is the cool Macintosh MC420 that we have, that I did the video on, one of the big sales pitches was they were like 5 to 50 hertz. All right, 50,000 hertz. They could play down to 5 and they could play up to 50,000. And that was their thing. It's like, look, sound doesn't stop at 20 to 20. But that's all we can hear. If we stop it there, well, we're going to get distortion. So they made it really wide so that in the part that we're using, it's the cleanest it can be. And that's what you're really going for, is that, you know, if for those of you that are photography people, you buy a better lens with a really great f-stop so that you don't have to run it full out to get, you know, you find the meat of it, man, the best piece of the steak. You know what I mean? So that's really where high-res excels, is that it can play cleaner up higher.
Do you know a 6-channel amplifier with 150 to 200 watts RMS?
I know there has to be some. I'm thinking that it's... doesn't Sundown make one? I mean, I think
150 to 200
Yeah,
RMS?
I think Sundown or one of the new JP amplifiers might have one. Oh, they got some really big ones, man.
I mean, I was just thinking, I mean, it's not 150, but it's 125 per channel.
Is the D61200.
Is the D61200.
Yeah. Or, sorry, the LC61200 also.
And also the D61200.
The D61200. And that's at 4 ohm.
And that's a 4 ohm.
If you go to 2 ohm,
it's a 200.
It's 200 per channel. Yeah.
So
check out audiocontrol.com. You can get a really awesome one.
Mm-hmm.
And has a 0 gauge input. It's pretty sexy. It's one of my favorite amplifiers. Ooh, baby. Oh, baby. 210s versus 118 in a Miata. Man. I mean, if I could fit it, I'd do 118. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Arc. Oh, there you go. Arc. The Arc. Yep. 61200. Thank you. Yes.
Arc.
Damn. You know,
I like when people are like,
they make some big ass amplifiers.
Yes,
oh my God.
Pyramid.
If you guys have never taken the opportunity to go to Arc's website, by all means, please. It's terrible. It's a terrible website, but just spec out some of the products they have, man. Oh my God.
And Brian knows it's a terrible website.
I know. It's funny. The first time we met, I go, "Hey man, you work for Arc, really? You know your website sucks, right?" He goes, like, "Shut up.
I know.
Who are you again?"
Yeah, he knows.
I'm not paying extra for the deer to hear the music. Hey, I agree. I understand. But trust me, when you hear a high-res system and all its little bells and whistles, and you just sit there and you're like, there's something different here. It's really an interesting.
And I'm gonna say this: high-res music and all the crazy stuff. It's not for everybody.
Oh no,
it's not for everybody because
I mean, that goes without saying.
You hear these systems that it is like tons of money, and then you're like, oh, can you turn it up? It's like, it's not supposed to, man. It's like,
how do I see RMS voltage of tweeters? My digital multimeter will not see voltage at 5,000 kilohertz. Do I need a better digital multimeter, or is tuning by ear the only way? Yeah. The problem that a lot of people don't, you're never going to see RMS voltage on a tweeter. It's a fallacy. Okay, it's the biggest lie in car audio is tweeter sound. Okay, when you see a tweeter that's rated for 100 watts, 30 watts, 40 watts, it's all a lie. Okay, it is 100% a lie. All right, tweeters see about 2 volts, or 2 watts. I'm sorry, see about 2 watts, 3 watts, 5 watts max. All right, that's why you're having a hard time with your meter. It's just not there. Are you gonna have to do it by ear? Probably. Yeah, and keep the gain low. Keep the gain really, really low. Don't try to get RMS voltage out of that. You just blow up your tweeters. So if you're doing like a channel with tweeters on them, so like, I mean, you can almost use your common sense. If let's say you had a 4-channel amplifier, 2 channels on highs, 2 channels on mid, and you set your mid, and let's say your gain, like when you're doing your voltage test, your gain is like right here, and you're like, okay, well then you know that the amplifier, that the gain is either going to have to be parallel to that or below for the tweeters. So that's a really like a hint right there. So what'll happen is it's like, oh, I can't hit that, so you keep turning that. That's not realistic. So setting tweeters really comes down to common sense. And when you look at a tweeter and you see the dental floss that they use for a voice coil lead, that right there is telling you that there's no way that speaker can handle 10 volts. It's just not possible to do it. Okay, so yeah. I mean, I think Andy on Audio Frog talks a lot about this, because one of the things he hates is people that blow their tweeters because they're trying to get 35 watts to them, or 50 or 100 or 120 watts to them. It's just never going to happen.
So you mean I cannot put 200 watts in
You
there?
cannot put 200 watts. Yes, you
50.
can put, now, so so really why they do that is because they know that the speaker manufacturer and the amplifier manufacturer, they're the same people, so they know that like if we sell someone that this is a 50 watt tweeter, they're going to put a 50 watt amplifier on it, and everything is going to be good, because by the time the signal that tweeter is going to play and what it's going to see at the very end that tweeter is capable of doing is going to be the wattage equivalent from a 50 watt amplifier. Okay, so by the time it rails down to the amount of voltage that tweeter is going to see, if they back up to a normal frequency where they're rating it, that would be 50 watts. Okay, so that's how that works. So yeah, tweeters can't handle that. Now that is high quality dental floss. Very. Yeah. And it's minty fresh with ferrofluid.
Can you check if the JBL Stadium 22s will fit in a 2018 Mustang in the factory mid location on the door without making any adapters?
Probably not. I don't think they will. We haven't had any luck trying to fit anything in a Mustang in that factory location, just because the front of the speakers stick out too far. You know, it's not that they're too big. It's just they hit the grill when you put the door panel back on. So yeah. The flax will bolt right into the factory spot. It's just there's speakers sitting on the grill now, so it kind of sucks. What is a good budget 6.5-inch mid bass that can play 60 hertz and up? All of them can technically play 60 hertz and up. If you go look at the frequency response of them, the problem is that why would you want it to play 60 hertz and up? That's the job of the subwoofer. It's a mid-range, possibly a mid-bass. It can't have the intensity that you're looking for at 60 hertz in the door of a car. There's too many things that go wrong. I mean, some of the best mid-bass I've ever heard, which are the Audio Frog GB60s.
GB60s.
Okay, the mid-bass that comes out of those is insane, and we play those at 80 hertz. All right, but they're like a $400 or $500 set of mid-bass. Okay, there's nothing coming close to that. All right, and you're not playing it down to 60 hertz. So I don't think there is such an animal. I mean, you'd need a subwoofer in the door is really what it would have to come down. Oh yeah, GB60s for the win. Oh my God, those things are fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous speaker. 2020 Silverado, Audio Frog, 6 mines in front, 2.5 in dash, 1 is tweeters in the 8-pillar. Nice, ran active. Need a good amp, DSP that won't break the bank. Which kicker key could handle this? It cannot. There again, something like that. I mean, those are all phenomenal speakers, so it's like, why are you going to skimp on the amp? But I will say this, if you're looking for something like a DSP, you have the Arc Audio PS 850 that you can run 6-channel to those. That'd be awesome. You have the Audison Forza. You also have Museway. Museway makes an affordable DSP amplifier. That's all I got on that one. Or like Audio Control D6-1200.
D6-1200. I don't know if the Ground Zero 6 to 8 will work in that one.
You'd need other amplifiers. I think he was just looking for one amplifier.
Okay.
What's the most economical setup you recommend for cutting ABS plastic for amp racks? Jigsaw with a plastic cutting bit, and it sucks. Alright, so the thing you got to keep in mind when cutting ABS, router bits are going to be the best. They're also the scariest. You want a spiral cut bit, and you want to hold on tight. ABS does not like to be cut at all. I typically try to keep things simple, like use a table saw. Table saw works great for cutting ABS. The problem with a jigsaw, like the Rockwell right here, every now and then we have to use this to cut the ABS. It's just going to melt the ABS. Even with a plastic blade, it just gets so hot, and ABS just doesn't like it. That's why we switch between ABS as well as using the blown PVC. Sometimes if we have the room but we need the rigidity, we'll just, and it's like there's going to be a lot of like turns and cuts and bends and stuff, we'll just go right up to 1/2-inch blown PVC because we still get the rigidity and it's much easier to work with.
Should all the tweeters running active have a bass blocker capacitor running D6-1200 amplifier?
My answer to that is no. Okay, I don't particularly care for that. However, this is the reality of it, and I've said this before, and it finally came true. All right, and this is the I've said it I don't know dozens of times. If there's a situation where the DSP stops working and you have to rely on that bass blocker, there's going to be a lot of crap that happened before that occurred that you shouldn't be playing that system. Okay, for example, let's say your car dies, all right, and you got a really expensive set of tweeters in the dash and all this stuff is going on, and you got to jump your car. But your battery is dead. We're talking dead. So when you go to jump the car takes a hit. You turn your stereo on, and like nothing sounds right. You don't keep playing it, because that's how you break stuff, all right? Things don't work right, you turn it off. Contact whoever put it in, or if you put it in yourself, immediately go home and figure out what just happened. Chances are good you blew something up. In this case, this gentleman blew up a DSP. When he blew up the DSP, of course, he just kept playing it, even though it sounded totally wrong, and he blew his tweeters. All right? Didn't make any sense. It was like, dude, you knew there was something wrong. Why did you keep playing it? They would have been fine. So, no, I don't recommend putting the bass blockers on those. If you dial in the crossover points properly, there's no reason to have them on there. They're not doing anything other than protecting you against a stupid moment where you could have just not played it and got it to the place, took it back or serviced it yourself and realized that, oh crap, I broke something. As typically happens when you jump start a battery that should just be replaced.
When I'm using passive crossovers, how should I set my amplifier? To full or high?
You're going to want to set it to high because you're going to want a high pass filter. We've done a couple shows on crossovers and how they work and all that funness. One particular that comes to mind was in Fundamentals. If you're not familiar with the Fundamentals show that we do, you can head over to Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips. That's the other YouTube channel we do, where Friday mornings, of course, we come on and do the news at 9 o'clock. But on Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips in the Fundamental page, we have about, 20 or 30 videos that are small, bite-sized pieces of talking about stuff like this. But here's the deal. we will grab the cool passive crossover board, this guy right here. And in this case, we have a bunch of passive crossovers. This one in particular is and so is this one, is a high pass crossover. It's for it's just a crossover for a set of components. You have a tweeter, you have a mid-range. Now what this is designed to do in the mid-range is provide a top for the mid-range and a bottom for the tweeter, meaning the lowest frequency that the tweeter will play and the highest frequency that the mid-range will play. That's why we call it a top and a bottom. What it will not provide you with is a bottom for the mid-range, because what you need is what's called a bandpass crossover, meaning you need a crossover that stops the mid-range from playing sub-sound and stops it from playing tweeter sounds and interfering with the tweeter. The reason why you're going to want, how to do that, and I guess there's a reason there somewhere, but how to make that work is using the high-pass crossover on the amplifier. That is going to provide the bottom for the mid-range. We typically will say start at 80 hertz and play it from there. So now what you have, we'll make up some numbers here. We have the amplifier providing an 80 hertz high-pass crossover for the bottom of the mid-range, so it doesn't try to play bass. We have the passive crossover providing the top for the mid-range at, let's say, 3200 hertz. And then also providing a bottom for the tweeter at, let's say, the same 3200 hertz, so it's a 32 high-low. And that way the tweeter won't play mid-bass sound. That's how that works. And Fernando has conveniently gone over and found the car stereo clips page. So if we go to Nando's laptops, this is the car stereo clips page. This is Dean and Fernando's car stereo clips. As you can see over here, we have the whole amplifier classes.
And if you go into the videos, and then you can go down right here, you see all.
Actually, if you go to playlists,
yeah,
there should be a playlist right there.
Right there.
And there should be one that has
fundamentals right here. You see the first one.
So if you click on that, you can look at all that information.
What?
And it's all short, man. It's
and
all
it's
like
free?
It's all free. It's
what?
all free to you.
What?
I know. Hey, man, I love you guys.
Oh
so
my God, you're such a nice guy.
And it's great. They're all bite-sized clips. They're all things you can watch while, like, you know, you're waiting for your woman to finish getting ready so you can go out to eat because you're starving. Just watch the fundamentals. It's a lot of fun. Hey, another sponsor for the show is, well, it's us. That's right. The D-Wire ruler. I always sponsor the show. I pay for it with my wallet. Anyways, mobilesolutions-usa.com. If you're interested in doing clean wire like we do, head over to mobilesolutions-usa.com and pick yourself up a wire ruler.
And if you're not, still buy it and give it to someone that is going to do something.
Just buy it and keep it for yourself. It's got a cool 5-star logo.
It's a ruler. It's still a ruler. You can use it with your kids, awesome. So you can. I told you to not do that.
Acrylic. That would hurt. Ow. Well, 5-Star will be coming out with a signature cologne.
Oh.
I'm sure Fernando would love to do
I would
that.
love that.
I know he would.
Because if I have a right contact, yes, that would be good.
He would definitely be into that because he loves that stuff. I, on the other hand, I'm an El Natural guy. You know, I just smell like roses all the time. Actually, I smell like cucumber melon all the time. So, buy as many as you can. The rules, yes, please.
Yes,
Sports
please.
the show. We got a few. Okay, so that's Fro and El Fuego having a conversation.
Can the XR600 be used with an aftermarket radio? Yes.
Why couldn't it?
Yeah.
As far as the German Maestro stuff goes, right now we're still. That's a Paul thing. That's not an us thing. If Paul decides to sell it, then of course all the good news to them. But yeah, I have no idea. We don't necessarily deal with the same customers as he does.
All right, somebody said, who sells Museway stuff? I have no idea.
Actually, I know who sells it.
Who?
Ken sells it. German Maestro down in the.
Oh, because he is still a store.
Yeah, his retail store. They sell Museway. Yeah. But honestly, I don't know who sells it. I would recommend just going on museway.com. They probably have a dealer locator there. I don't know if anybody has it online or not. I've never really searched for the product. I know the product. I've looked at it. Arc Audio subwoofer. So there's, yes, Arc Audio subwoofers, any input on them. I've never been disappointed anytime I've ever heard the Arc Audio subwoofers. As you guys know, we're good friends with Brian at Arc. They just came out with a brand new shallow mount driver because they needed something that was not as awesome as this. This, of course, is the ultimate shallow mount subwoofer.
Yeah.
And this thing is a beast.
I like
but
it. It's so
you know, ARC is one of those companies that we love working with.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love working with them because they just make cool stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, they make cool stuff. And they're all a bunch of audio guys that love audio, and their main objective is to make stuff that sounds good.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had anyone come to me and say, oh no, it doesn't. Yes, they all sound good. If you didn't get a chance to watch the video we just did a couple weeks ago from Orlando Knowledge Fest, where we took a look at two cars, the Dodge Challenger as well as Brian's pickup truck, I would suggest doing that because they're pretty awesome. And if you haven't seen the Brian's award-winning Cadillac, oh my God, definitely go back and watch that video because like it's insanity, man. It's just insanity.
It's insanity.
And just like when we were there last time, Brian won like a stack of these.
Yeah.
These are his championships that he got, and I took it.
Well, in his booth, he had the big trophy.
Oh yeah, the big trophy.
And everything.
But I still took those because when I went out to his car to film the video, I go, "Hey man, what's the deal?" He goes, "Oh, they gave me all these because I won a bunch of awards." And I go, "Okay, you're giving me one, right?"
Take it.
Looking to maybe doing a full ARC audio install. By all means, man. One of the things we look forward to, probably sometime, I'm thinking sometime next year, we want to get with them because I really want to take a look at the high-end speakers that they carry that we always talk about because they're phenomenal. It's just obviously right now we have a lot on our plate and I want to give them the time that we really need. So at some point we'll be doing a full ARC audio lab version to play with them because, man, I just want to make sure it's Brian that's awesome, you know, as well as the speakers. I don't know if, I mean, there again, comparing shallow mount woofers is tough.
Yeah.
Because it's a tough thing to do. You know, I really enjoyed the ARC Audio, the new ARC Audio shallow. I'm assuming the more affordable one compared to that one. That one's insane. Like that, the quality that comes out of that is just unreal. I mean, I remember hearing that. Pate had that from MTI, had that in his pickup truck, and it was like Jesus.
Yeah. El Fernandez, thank you for the $20, man. I appreciate it. Hey, Dean. Question.
Yeah.
I need a third amplifier for my rear field.
Yeah.
Should I get another T400 to keep the same brand, or should I get a 2-channel?
Get the T400. Get the T402.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you get the T402? I mean, yeah. Listen. All right, come on. You guys know I'm crazy. I can't have mismatch amplifiers. What kind of world do you think this is? It's crazy, man. No, everything's got to match. You know, one of my favorite combinations, like when we have to do Rockford amplifiers, they make a 404, a 402, and a 751. I like to use all three of those, but I like to wire them up so that the rear is actually coming off the 404. So I do tweeters and rear off of 404, front mid bass off of 402, and the 750.1 is powering my subwoofers. That's my combination, how I like to run those amplifiers, because I want more power going to my mid bass. As we've already discussed on here, tweeters don't need nothing.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, I haven't used in-dash epicenter.
No. Yeah.
That would be cool if I had one.
It's got all the knobs. I have no problem with it. I think it's a cool idea. Can a Pioneer power PRV 6x9s in the door? Of course they can power them. It's a radio. It's got 15 watts. But that's just it, though. It's got 15 watts. So what are you trying to do? If you're trying to be the loudest dude on the block because you're getting the PRVs, you're getting 15 watts. And if they're 8 ohm, now you're getting 7.5 watts. All right? So the answer to the question is yes. Is it a good idea, though, which is the second part of the question? Probably no.
I mean, if you already have the radio, buy the speakers, you're gonna put it on. But in the future, like in next week or 2 weeks, you're gonna add an amplifier. I don't see why not.
I have an LC 1.800 and a D 4.800. Which one to remote bass? When I do that combination, which we all knew we do a lot, I always go with the sub amp. And the reason why I go with the sub amp opposed to the 4-channel amplifier is because I like a bass knob that has a start point and an end point, meaning this is as loud as it is and this is as quiet as it is.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, when you use the multifunction bass knob for the D 4.800, it's an infinite spin. It just keeps spinning, just like my rims. They spinning, and that drives me nuts.
They spinning.
The nice thing of okay, so that's the pro and con versus that. Another, pro, con, pro, stop, start, con, infinite spin. The other nice thing about the other bass knob, though, is that it does have 4 preset capability. So if you are going to be doing presets, you do have 2 options for presets. You can use the AC BT25 Bluetooth adapter for your presets.
BT24.
Whatever. Yeah, the audio control Bluetooth adapter for presets, but yeah, I personally like just volume up, volume down.
Then what's a good, cheap Mechless radio? I need one for my daughter's rodeo.
Good luck, man. What did Kenwood, Froze House right there, whatever he said, go with that. Yep. Yeah, so Christian is saying use the ARC1. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. No problem. What would you recommend cheap amp set for 4 DS18 Pros 8s, 275 watts RMS, and 4 DS18 Pro? Okay, listen, DS18 makes some really affordable amplifiers. I mean, if you're going with their speakers, why not just get their amps? I mean, because what's going to happen is you're going to, okay, so you could get their amps, which are good, and they'll do the trick, and they might be a little bit more than the cheapest of cheap amplifiers out there, or you're going to go with something like an RP SCAR amplifier. So for me, I would spend just a little bit more money and get the DS18 amplifier, personally. That would be me. But all those amplifiers are very similar in performance and sound and price. So, I mean, go for matchies. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, hold on, look at the time. You got a quick one? I'll take one more. If you got a quick one.
All right, what speakers will you pair with the Morel Maximus for rear fill?
The Maximo.
There you go.
I just get the Maximo, put it in the rear.
Coaxial.
That's what we've been doing, is just throwing a set of the coaxial Maximos in the rear.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. But oh my gosh, look at the time. Can you believe it? It's been an hour? Oh, guys. Hey, listen, guys. Thank you so much for playing along with us today. This has been definitely a difficult show for me, but you guys made it great. You let me forget about what's going on in the real world for at least an hour. Yeah. For those of you guys who don't know what we're talking about, just go to the beginning of the show and watch that. You'll understand. Yeah. But hey, if you're interested in what is going on here? My laptop is doing that stupid thing again where it won't show up. Do you have that on there?
No, I don't have it. But I can
just type it in real quick. If you're interested in getting no, don't Google it. Just type it in. Just type D and F swag. There you go, right there. Tap that. Just hit go. All right. If you're interested in cool tools to use, that's right. Head over to dnftooldrawer.com. That's dnftooldrawer.com. We have all the cool tools that we use there. Yes, I know I need to do some updates, but hey, there's still tons of tools on there that you can look at. If you go there first before you head over to Amazon, just use that for an affiliate link. We get paid, okay?
Yeah.
We get pennies, bro. But because there's lots of you, we get lots of pennies. Like, 5, 10 cents. It's awesome. So thank you so much. Mm-hmm. And then if you're interested in cool 5-star apparel, that's dnfswag.com.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it is. Still is. DNF Swag.
Nothing.
I know. You typed it in wrong. It's okay, man. dnfswag.com. Yeah, swag. SWAG. That's okay, man. Don't worry about it. They know what it is. We put it on the show every time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. You guys have a great weekend. It's Saturday night. So, hey, listen, if you're going to do something stupid, just don't jump in your car and do something stupid to where you won't make it back here on Monday, okay? We don't need that. We want to see you back here on Monday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. There it is, DNF Swag. If you want cool apparel, you want to look flashy, you want to be dope, you want to be dressing like the nines, yeah, head over there and pick it up. And that's that. Anyways, if you're going to do something silly tonight, Uber, Lyft, call a friend that isn't doing something silly. Arrive alive, get home, get your pets spayed and neutered, whatever you want to do, or get them a shower, for God's sakes. I mean, yeah. Be safe, be fun, guys. We'll see you back here Monday at 6:30 over on the Facebooks. That's it. That's all we got for you. You guys have a wonderful weekend as always. We'll see you later next time.
Bye.
Bye.